If you ever watch any Candace Owens piece, any segment or portrayal, and you want to get a good idea of kind of a good sampling of her expertise, her genius, and I don't use that word lightly, her genius in terms of explication, describing, but also laying things out almost as a prosecutor would, as a trial lawyer would. What I'm about to show you probably is the best. Because if you have to just watch one Candace Owens piece, just one, this is the one. This is the one to watch. And it lays out in a very matter-of-fact tone, very, very, very easy to understand, easy to grasp, but a most explicable way. And it deals with something which is one of the most fascinating issues, and that is what happened at Butler. So without further ado, let us watch this. And I will be stopping, perhaps to the point of annoying, during the course of this to let you know why I think this is critical.
Imagine if you would for a second, you guys, a second. A widow who wasn't grieving differently.
Gee, I wonder whom she is referring to. I just wonder.
Who has been grieving for years, who has had many questions and is unsatisfied with a narrative that grows really weaker by the day.
Now, interesting. She says a widow who grows tired or weary, or a suspect or incredulous as to the narrative. Erica Kirk, of course, does not. Never has, never will. She apparently is completely at home and at ease with the official narrative that was provided to her as to the disposition and the dispatch of her husband, which is not the case here regarding this particular case.
Truly, I'm looking at my feed today and people are like, I can't believe that a year ago I just trusted the narrative on Butler. Like, people who supported Trump were we completely duped by this narrative? And they can't even.
And by the way, remember why Butler is so important, because that was one of the most important critical times that provided the presentation, if you will, of Trump in a way that was so Hollywood-like. And I'm not suggesting in any way that it did not occur as was, but many, many people are saying, that was so, you could not have possibly written something as Hollywood-esque as that, which caused some folks to be a tad incredulous and a tad dubious for reasons that I think are warranted. It's funny how conspiracy theories and suspicions are okay, provided they're directed towards the right people.
Imagine themselves asking this question. We revisited the Butler assassination and speculated that Corey Comparator, the only person who lost his life on that day, may have even been targeted.
Now, if you missed this before, please go back and listen to Candace's review of how she painstakingly reviews and provides her, if you will, her adumbration, her review of that particular angle. But that's for another collateral issue. Let's focus on this.
Well, guess what? His widow, Helen, still has questions, and she spoke out and has made it very clear that she is unsatisfied with the investigation. She wasn't ready to go on Barry Weiss 2 weeks later and say she trusts everything 100%, despite seeing nothing. She's fully convinced of what happened to her husband. That's not what Helen did. Helen didn't wear sparkly pantsuit. Helen didn't hire a bunch of influencers to target people that were questioning the narrative. Helen didn't become the firefighter that her husband was and take on his job and say she was qualified because she knew how much he loved to fight fires. She's just a whole different breed of a widow, one that we're familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
An actually grieving widow. I just wanted to state that. It's a stunning comparison. Then you see this. What year was Butler? 2000? Somebody reminded me of my year. I can't even remember. It's been how many? It's been, it has now been 2 years. And she is still grieving, and she is still asking questions. And so,
isn't that fascinating? This also goes. It's wonderful to show the comparison. Remember the issue that I always bring up the night of the State of the Union address, when you had the woman, the mother of the poor, the poor young girl from Ukraine, who was stabbed viciously by that thug animal hominid, who just took her life for no particular reason, while people just sat around and kind of watched. Remember the reaction of her mother at the State of the Union. She was just bereft. She was evacuated. Her soul. She just stared. She was spent. She could not react as normal people could anymore. It was the most incredible thing in the world. In fact, that's the way people normally react to a loss, as opposed to this more of a performative, a choreographed form of grief signaling.
Sat down for an interview on News Nation and spoke about all of the Secret Service failures, and here's what she had to say.
You've expressed belief that the gunman, Thomas Crooks, didn't act alone.
I don't believe there was another shooter there, but I believe that he was working with somebody. I believe it was an inside job.
Yes.
Inside the government.
Yes.
Somewhere.
Yes.
And this was political?
Oh, yeah.
Political.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
Good for you. Good.
Yep.
Have you seen evidence to that?
Oh, I've been told things, but I've had something that happened with me that just afterwards, and you're starting to put the pieces together, it just made total sense.
Isn't that something? Don't you love this? Don't you love the way we're celebrating? In fact, we should celebrate the fact that when left to their own devices, human beings are able to cobble together alternative theories and to validate and establish suspicions that are in no way pulled out of the air, that are no way baseless, but are indeed valid and critical and worthy of note, worthy of analysis. This is what we normally do. This is, in any other walk of life, we ask people, please reveal this. Murder, She Wrote, Agatha Christie, Columbo. It's okay. It's okay for you to be suspicious without being called the dread lunatic conspiracy theorist.
What will help give you closure?
Truth.
When the people who put this all together that day are caught.
See? And let me remind you, when President Trump was asked, why are you interrupting, or why are you not seeing through the complete and total and thorough investigation of your assassination attempt, many people to this day found that a bit difficult to understand. And I think for obvious reasons.
And it comes out.
So if you had a message for President Trump, what would it be?
Just to don't forget us and
Good.
remember what we went through that day.
Yes.
And
what you went through.
We're still here and we need answers.
Isn't that good? Does she sound like a lunatic to you? Does she sound like some crazed tinfoil hat lunatic? Would Jack Probiotic be willing to mock her, or Ben Shapiro, or one of the TPUSA gals? Do you think they would be able to mock her? You think they would be as inclined to ridicule her for daring to broach the subject and to bring up questions that most rational people have? I think not.
Helen Comparator says it was a year before the Secret Service actually reached out
Wow.
to her. The questions that she did ask, she says they didn't answer them fully, and she's now pleading, reaching out to President Trump,
Good.
hoping that he will intervene, apply pressure, so she can
Good.
get answers as to what happened here and why.
Good. Excellent.
I don't have to sell Helen comparator. I don't need to hire
Yep.
influencers to say. You just watch that, and your intuition told you that is a
Absolutely.
woman that is aggrieved. That is a woman that is asking rightful questions. You can still see in her eyes she's not over it. And when they ask her, because why would she be? Are you ready? Why didn't she come out and say, "I forgive Matthew Crooks"? Because she's still there's no forgiveness until you know the truth.
You see what she's also doing, and what Candace is doing, which is so difficult for some people to understand and to grasp, is that you want to point out the obvious. And what the obvious is how obviously truthful and candid, and the verity and veracity and the truthfulness and the authenticity of her reaction. See, that's what all of this is about. That's it. Is being able to point out and identify that which is obvious, the way human beings naturally respond to something of this nature.
Until somebody asks for forgiveness, until somebody says, "I am sorry," you know nothing, and I'm good. You took my husband, a father of my children. I'm good. That does not require a $1 billion campaign to convince you that Helen Comparator is in pain.
Right.
You don't need the Department of Justice, an emotional asset, boosting a person, interviews with famous people. You don't need Nicki Minaj.
Right. Yes. By the way, that's another story. Nicki Minaj, if ever I have the chance to spend any amount of time with you, how this fraud ever... This goes to show you the absolute and abject negligence on behalf of the Trump administration. But also, let me say very, very quickly, one of the reasons why is that in the case of Erica, all her life, more than anything in the world, she wanted to be famous, and she wanted to be important, and she wanted to be beautiful and cool and hot and sexy and talented and loved and watched. She wanted the spotlight, and she never had it her entire life. Never. She came close. She tried so hard, but nothing happened. Then came Charlie, and that also didn't help because she was pushed to the back, kind of like Hillary Clinton to an extent, a little bit like Michelle Obama. You were supposed to be out there. No, you were the better half. You were the mom. Okay. And then, and again, I'm not suggesting that Erica had anything to do with Charlie's dispatch. But when that day happened, well, now it was Erica time. And if you're going to hear from me, you're going to hear from me in the best possible way, the best possible forum, the best possible stage and platform that I can muster and arrange.
To just listen to Helen Comparator, and you said right there, that's what it looks like. That's what it sounds like. Someone who is not going to be at peace until they get true answers about what happened to their husband, rather than attacking, threatening via lawsuits, calling people names who are asking rightful questions. It's just stunning. Every time you see it, you don't know what it is, but it moves you spiritually, right? It moves you spiritually. When you see it, you know, there it is. The truth, honesty, clarity, perspective. Everybody grieves differently. Nope. No. What do you want her to do? Stay in the house for a year? Yeah. Actually, can I say that on behalf of everybody? When they keep asking this question, what do you expect Erica to do? Stay at home and just grieve? Yeah. I do, actually. Like for a year at least, minimally, yeah, I did expect that she would stay at home and be aggrieved. I think,
by the way, not to interrupt, which I am, think Kobe Bryant's wife. Think most people. Think when you have had your life upended, your history, the trajectory of what you thought would be your history. Family, the end, retiring, growing old with your spouse, being, all of that subverted, all of that interrupted, all of that you being shortchanged. Yeah. It's a paralytic. It doesn't allow you to go on kind of a book tour or a media tour, and then to go and constantly perform grief, which again, I'm not saying you don't have it, but most people would have never been able to how do I say this? Most people would have not been able to combine the two. That's the aspect.
The whole world actually expected that. And I don't know what sort of reverse psychology this is. We're now making it weird that we think it's weird that she's not doing it. But on behalf of the entire world, yes, we think it's weird. And we expect her to be so torn apart by what happened, angered, on the pursuit, asking all the right questions, teaming up with people who are asking questions, helping them put the pieces together. That is what we expected. You got us. Guilty as charged. We expected her to grieve for minimally a year. Didn't expect her in the office laughing at emojis 6 days later. I gotta be honest. I don't know if this makes me a monster. A guide to grieving quickly within 6 months and forgiving by the 11th day. No, I'm not buying it.
Absolutely, positively. And there you have it. Probably one of the best explications, reviews, closing arguments, just words to finally put into such crystal clear, limpid, pellucid, absolutely perfect perspective exactly what happened. That's it. That's what all of this is. And like I said, if ever you want to see an example of Candace Owens at her best, that's it. Because it's perfect. Number one, you understand what it is. Number two, you understand not just the facts of what you said, but you understand the emotion that she's trying to convey. And number three, you find yourself thinking, wow, I didn't know that. You know, sometimes you need people to say, let me explain to you what happened this way. Let me explain to you. Now, remember, from the time this occurred, from September the 10th on of last year, Candace Owens and others, and teams and passels and brigades of her cohorts and colleagues and minions and acolytes and have been putting together daily, and I mean the entire spectrum of people who want to get to the truth, have been bombarding you with examples and clips and evidence. The other side, the TPUSA crowd, the Ben Shapiro side, the usual, those little I don't know who they are, but these the razzmatazz gals from TPUSA, these children, these little boys who, whatever they do, they're the force and the direction and basically the gravamen or the basis of their indictment of Candace Owens is that she's a demon, she's demonic, she's evil, she's terrible, and that doesn't work anymore. And as we say in the South, that dog don't hunt. So what you've seen right now is an example of something so perfect. And it also shows you, remember, that when we say we know that there's a conspiracy, we are not the conspiracist that is used in the pejorative. People say you're not a conspiracy theorist. You're not. These words don't apply. These words mean nothing. These words are devoid of meaning anymore. They've run their course. We have habituated totally to it. We're immune to the accusation. It means nothing because, believe it or not, we are awash. We are floating in conspiracies and confederations and cabals and criminal convocations and cadres of a variety of people, so awful, so nefarious, and so willing to do everything up to and including the ultimate, and that is murder. So if anybody thinks that this is just some kind of a, what are you talking about, Candace Owens for? You're missing the point. There are so many layers, so many strata to this, so many concatenations and layers It is frankly beyond anything I even thought was possible. So Candace Owens, thank you. And for those of you who don't know Candace, that was her. I think I'm one of her best. So perfect, so simple, so basic, so understandable, and so convincing. Thank you, my friends. You know the routine. Please like this video. Subscribe to our channel. Make sure you're still subscribed. Sometimes people are unsubscribed for reasons I don't know, but I can suspect. Thank you. Please watch us. Continue to watch us. Continue to follow us. Continue to be a part of our family. Also, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And above all, what I always ask you is to comment, to think. What do you think? I've got some questions for you. What do you think about this? What are the issues? Because second, your comments have been sublime. So thank you, my friends. And comment as you see fit.